father wanted to teach your son one thing, that if you have hope and faith, no matter what it looks like in your present time, you will always win, and faith in God is most important when things are so good. And when you know that they're at their worst, and you get through the other end, now you know you've accomplished something. You've got some biceps. Anyway, his son came back from Korea, and he was ashamed of his father. He had shell shock. They went to Chicago. They put him in an insane asylum. He escaped, and he shot 7 people. That very same day, Stephen Fletcher did his last movie called Bend in the River. They had just got the news that his son had died. So he had his last scene to do to Walter Brennan, and he said, I guess I better go back down to the Mississippi and sit down and be quiet. That was the only time he didn't act, because he had given up. But that's very much a man from history. Followed by him was Sidney Poitier, who came from the Bahamas, with a British history, with a great deal of pride, and my hero. And then here I am, on his shoulders. Now on his shoulders, I came here before that, doing A Raisin in the Sun, but later on, as a star from New York in 1968. And it says this in the first chapter of my book. Hopefully it's rigorously honest, that New York, the William Morris Agency, the head of Universal, put me on first class. I came over to California, and a limousine drove out to the airport, put me in the limousine, drove me to the Beverly Hills Hotel, put me in a president's suite. I'm overwhelmed. Huh? I come from Coney Island, Brooklyn, by way of Georgia. It was 1968. So I relaxed. And they said, when you finish your lunch, sir, there's a car waiting for you on Crescent Heights and Sunset. If anybody knows Los Angeles, it takes 25 minutes at the most to get from Crescent Heights and Sunset to the Beverly Hills Hotel. It took me 4.5 hours. They gave me a white Ford Fairlane convertible with red interior. It was the year of Sam Cooke. I had Sam Cooke up, and I guess I met every policeman in Los Angeles area over a 4.5 hour period. So finally I said, I know I answered to the description. But they couldn't break my spirit, so I went to the Beverly Hills Hotel and told the cops, and he said, well, you know, they're the sons and daughters of the people who built the municipals and the airplanes. And they come from Mississippi and Texas, Tennessee. They don't know any better. They're the blue collar work. Very much like LA Confidential. I said, oh, I get it. Okay. I'll be more patient and understanding. So I got my dinner, and I had prime rib, Yorkshire pudding, strawberry shortcake, and a malted milk. And my stomach was staying out there like this. I said, well, I can't. My mom said, I can't go to bed with a full stomach. I gotta go for a walk. So I went down to Sunset Boulevard, up Benedict Canyon, looking at the movie star's home. Before I know it, I'm handcuffed to a tree. So I told him, look, I understand where y'all come from, but I'm living in Beverly, shut up. So I spent 3.5 hours handcuffed to a tree. So they let me go, everything was all right, and I didn't answer to anybody's description. And I called my mama, and my mama says, I'll be right there. Now she's in Coney Island, I'm in Beverly Hills, she'll be right there. My father says, I'm driving across the country. I finally calmed down, called my agent the next morning, told him what happened. He says, that's terrible. What are you going to do? And something inside me says, I don't know, I guess I'm just going to go on to work. He says, that's what I expected you to say. Now, today, we have a whole bunch of children who don't know what to do. Half of the problem of racism is black, because we have bought into a lie. Sometimes out of necessity, sometimes of the absence of the good messages we give one another, because children have X-ray vision these days. And I see so many contemporary people above 40 here. I'm so blessed that you've come here. Because the message on our side, you do believe in God and He's good all the time. Things change and God is toward His way, things change whether we like it or not, and they're changing for the better. So the headlines that you read today is where the problems are. People who don't want to change. Now God has given us a message, I believe. It's hurricanes are the largest we've ever seen in history. Earthquakes are breaking up. Thousands of people are dying in overflood floods. He's trying to pat us on the shoulder. He's trying to say, pay attention to this planet. Now, if you want to pay attention to this planet, you've got to drop everything else, right? We have to cooperate with one country, cooperate with another. We've got to drop our weapons, drop our differences, and concentrate on restoring the rainforest, cleaning up the water and the air, making sure everybody eats, make sure everybody gets fulfilled. So if that is the number one problem, and I'll be finished with that, number one problem, and the number one commodity is our children. If we're doing anything else, we're like a 747 airplane. Everybody's inside the airplane fighting over who's going to be in first class when the plane's about to crash. So me to you, I say, God is in charge always. And like my great grandmother said when she was 111, sitting in the kitchen with her two girlfriends. One lady said, you know, I think I'm getting a little senile because I went to get something out of the refrigerator. And I stood there for 10 minutes before I could remember what I wanted to get out of the refrigerator. Second lady said, I know what you mean. I put it in my closet for 15 minutes trying to remember what I was doing standing in there. And my great-grandmother said, you should be ashamed of yourself, talking about how old and senile you're getting. I'm at least 10 years older than both of you. And thank God. Who is it?
From the City of Los Angeles, signed by all the members and the mayor of the City of Los Angeles.